Welcome to the weekly reading. We're going to be looking at what's going on in your life right now and where is it most likely headed. Hi, I'm Kathy, and welcome to It's in the Cards Divination, my YouTube channel where we look at all different aspects of life to try to figure out what's coming potentially and what could we do about it. So let's see. We've got this situation we want to look at. I have three piles. So you're going to look at these and you're going to pause the video if necessary and just resonate with the different piles now. Have a look. This is pile one on this side. Okay, even though it's the opposite to you. Pile two, pile three. And then you can go in the description box, there'll be a timestamp, pile one, pile two, and pile three. And you can listen to all three if you want. There's no rules, hard and fast. If it doesn't resonate, don't make it. That's what I always say. This shit has to fit, okay? So let's get started in our reading and see what's going on in your life right now and where could it potentially be heading. And if it's heading in a negative direction, let's see if there's something we can do to change it, right? Okay, my dear friends, as I said, pause the video if you want, and let's get started. Okay, let's look at pile one. I'm going to move these cards over and we're going to do this like this. Okay, so we have pile one. What is it that this situation, for most of you, what is it regarding as far as the energies around it and what is going on in your life right now? Self-sabotage. Yeah. There's something that you're afraid is not going to come true or happen, and you're trying to be the one to end it. Self-sabotage is when we're fearful. We come from a place of fear, and we are trying to it's kind of like when you've made plans and they're so good and you're so excited and you want something to happen so badly, but you know that there's most likely it's not going to happen because nothing in your life seems to go well, or things that just don't usually fall into place for you. Maybe you've got a negative outlook. And so what happens is we often just give up or end it before it even starts. Okay? My self-sabotaging friends in pile one. Let's see what they can tell us about this card. That's the energies, the overall energies about this situation. All right. So let's look at the situations. See what they're around, pile one. What are the energies around? And what is it that's going on? What is it about this self-sabotage? What's happening in your life right now? As I said, this is a general reading, so it may fit, it may not. Don't worry about it. We're not going to try to make it fit, are we? First card is the Hermit, upright. The second is the Devil in reverse. Okay, it's better in reverse. Okay. So, what I'm seeing here is someone has been working very hard to give up some bad habits that they have, and you're letting them go. You're letting the self-sabotage, it totally makes sense. On a very basic level, what this tells me is there are some self-destructive thoughts and ideas that you've had at this time or near past, and you're in the process of letting them go. You're educating yourself on whatever it is you need to do to get rid of those bad habits, or maybe addictions. If some of you, it could be addictions, doesn't have to be. There's also a releasing here of fear. I'm seeing there's a fear situation around this. When the devil shows up, I always feel like people are so scared they can't move forward. There's a bondage around them. They feel there is, but it's not real. The bondage is in your own mind, okay? But it's our fears that are controlling it. But it feels to me like you've been spending a lot of time trying to figure out how to get out of this situation. And you are happening. It's coming. Okay, that's what it looks like. We're going to see what the overall outcome could be with this. So it's a positive. Um, don't allow yourself to self-sabotage. So, in other words, if you are presently starting to move in a more positive direction right now in your life, don't allow yourself get afraid and pull back just because you're afraid you're going to get hurt or you're afraid you're going to fail. Failure is when we don't try. And this appears to me like you're actually trying, my friends. You're actually doing this shit. You've done the work. You've spent some time. The hermit has spent some time learning and getting educated. Maybe some of you have even gone for counseling if it's on a more serious level, and or even just talking to a trusted friend who has been able to help you with this situation, and it's working. It's starting to work. You're starting to let your fears go. That's what this is telling me. And don't allow yourself to get so afraid that you give up. All right. So for most of you, that's where this is headed, or this is happening right now, I should say. Let's see where it pretty much appears to be going then in that direction. It looks positive. It's going in a more positive direction, but let's see what we can get out of this here. Okay, where is it headed? The Four of Wands in the reverse, as you see. So, what I'm feeling then from this is that it appears that other people in your, where it's heading, in other words, in your inner circle, maybe it's in your home, they're not really comfortable with where you're headed at this time. Maybe because it's out of your normal, it's out of the norm, because this is kind of a big thing what's going on because it's the major arcana. So I feel like you are being, um, it's out of their comfort zone, in other words, but don't give up. Let go of your fears. It may not make them happy, in other words, whatever the scenario is that it's heading to, you're allowing your fears to be released, but they aren't comfortable with it for whatever reason. Maybe it's going to impact them in some way that they just can't get past. It makes them uncomfortable, in other words, but it appears to be the right thing to do. So let's see, because this shows a bit of a negative from the Four of Wands reversed, let's see what, if there's what type of, it's not going to give them joy, is what I'm saying, seeing, sorry. It's not going to make them happy, but this isn't about them. This is about you, right? There's going to be some people in your household that aren't going to be happy with what you decide to do there. I would even say if this is somebody who is giving up partying or drinking or any kind of, I was going to say, this is what I'm hearing, somebody who likes to go shopping a lot. I know that sounds very, but it's more of something that's an addiction. Like I say, something that we are obsessed about, and you're not going to be doing these things anymore because it's serving you no purpose at this time. Your friends aren't going to like it either. Friends aren't going to be happy, but who cares? This is your life. You need to do what you want to do, right? So it's healthy for you to give it up. Don't allow them to manipulate, or anyone else, either in your household, to manipulate you from getting healthy in some way, whether it's mentally, physically, emotionally, or spiritually. You need to move forward. Don't self-sabotage. Don't allow them for you to self-sabotage. Because sometimes we listen to other people and then we go, no, I can't do this. I'm shutting down. Don't do that. Okay. So what advice can this pile one get so that things go better with their friends or their home life? Better for you. What advice can you give? Let's see here. We have the Two of Pentacles in the reverse. So what it tells me is that you just let it go. It doesn't matter. They'll get used to it. In other words, let it go. For some of you, it's telling me that maybe you need to engage them in whatever it is you're doing. So, in other words, get their help. See if they can give you a hand as far as what it is you're trying to do. Maybe they can help educate you some more on whatever it is you're trying to let go of here. So engage them, make them feel part of the situation, is what I'm hearing from this card. So we're going to pull some more cards on this pile one and see what's going on for you guys. What could possibly be going on? Two cards for pile one. Pile one. Surround self-sabotage. We don't want to do that, number one. Okay, we have the Nine of Cups. There we go. In the reverse. And we have the two nines, Nine of Wands in reverse. Okay, some of you you're really dissatisfied with what's been going on in your life. It can be just on a very basic level. You're not getting the things that you want, and you're ready to just give it up. Because the nines are all about getting close to the end, being close to completion. I feel like you shouldn't, because even though they're both, because you're self-sabotaging. So in other words, even if you don't get what you want, doesn't mean give up. In the simplest of terms, that's what I'm seeing. Don't give. So you're giving up at this time. In other words, you're wanting to give up. You're like, I'm done with this. I put a lot of energy into this. It's not going the way I'd hoped, and I want to give up. No, see, self-sabotage is saying, no, don't give up. And you're almost there. So, in other words, something is holding back. It could be timing for some situations. It's not the right time to get what you want, whatever that happens to be at this time. And it just feels like nothing is going your way. Okay, so let's see where it's headed going forward then with this situation, assuming you don't give up. All right, you keep going. What is going to happen then, or more or less? Oh, yes, the strength card. Look at that. Oops, sorry. Strength card. It's like, first of all, others are going to see you as persevering, which means they're going to admire your strength of character for carrying on. There's also the Six of Wands. I knew it. As soon as I reached for the card, I could feel it. Your strength getting through this and persevering is going to be reflected well and seen by others as doing the right thing. Okay. So don't self sabotage. Don't give up. That's what I'm hearing. Whatever scenario is going on in your life right now, um, but it feels like nothing is going the way you'd hoped and the way you wanted it to. It's not. It's about timing, and sometimes it's about patience, sometimes it's about not giving up and working and striving. And that's what this is telling me. Even though you feel beaten down and maybe you're even exhausted, for some of you, you've had enough. I'm done. Don't give up. All right. It's very important that you persevere in this situation for those of you in both situations that I'm seeing. But like I say, it depends on what the scenario is that's going on. This is a general reading. So if you had been sitting in front of me, I could have provided you more detailed information on that. But whatever it is, whether it is a situation here with the devil, where you are wanting to release your fears about attempting to do something. Okay, you're wanting to do something out of your comfort zone. That's what the devil's telling me. And you've been spending a lot of time trying to figure out how to do that. This is what the cards are telling me. Now, as I say, around the home, your inner circle, your friends are not going to feel comfortable with it, but that doesn't matter. It's what you need to do. So don't allow yourself to self-sabotage this situation. Releasing fear is a difficult thing. It's not easy, but it looks like you're doing it. It looks like you've spent a lot of time and reflection on this, and you are working hard. So it tells me you're now at that point where you're wanting to move forward. You're actually ready to jump in. Okay. So maybe to help the situation, because it turned out showing what I would consider a negative, then here's an idea. Get others involved. Get the other person involved. If it's one person that's causing the problem, because it is the Two of Pentacles. So sometimes it's just one other person that's giving you grief about it. Perhaps it's a or spouse, friend, family member. Get their help. Get them engaged. Talk about it. Do what you need to do. Show them the work you put in. Don't self-sabotage. All right. That is this situation scenario. The other scenario that's going on a broad level is just not being able, it's like nothing seems to be going your way, the way you want it to be right now. It's not moving forward. You put a lot of time and energy into it, it appears, and you're ready to give up. You want to just let it go. I'm here to tell you, you're very close to getting what you want. It's timing. I always say it has to be, the universe has got your back, but it has to be in the right timing, okay? You just can't see it. But it shows if you persevere and not give up, turning this card around, in other words, you're going to be seen very highly and you're going to be successful at it. It's going to work for you. Things are going to start to move in a better direction. They're also going to see you, and people are going to see you in a different light. You are suddenly you're this person who doesn't self-sabotage anymore. You're very strong and you are very much admired for it. Okay. Not that that's the reason we do things, but it's kind of an advantage. It's like you are going to be very successful, my friend. Okay. So, pile one, I hope something from this resonated for you and you were able to get some information that you can use at this time. And now I will gather up my cards here. Okay. Hi, pile two. Now we're going to reveal what the overall energy is going around at this time for you. What do you need to be aware of? A child's love. Isn't that wonderful? I just love that card. What this is about the deep and precious connections that we have during our time on earth between a parent and a child. Children start out, it says, as part of us, and from their first cries, they establish themselves as the biggest part of our hearts. Now, this doesn't necessarily, when I see this card, it's not necessarily reflected of a parent situation. It can be a mother like, a father like. In other words, it doesn't have to be your biological. It could be somebody who is taking care of you, who loves you very dearly. But it also tells me about living your life as a child, in a childlike quality, okay? But also, more importantly, this is about a bond that we make, deep connections during our time on earth, okay? So at this time, let's see what's going on in your life, pile two. Let's see what we have going on here around this card, a child's love. Ooh, that jumped out. One card, we will take it. It's the Hierophant, upright. And the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. Oh my gosh, I can see now what's going on here. For most of you, you may have lost a parent at the not so like you're going through that right now, the grieving process. And I see, although this card is he appears to be quite happy because look at the ascension to heaven, right? I feel that this could be representing your loved one. In other words, they're always around you. So for those of you, and this is very specific, those of you who are grieving the loss of someone at this time, it doesn't necessarily have to be a parent. It can be someone you felt was like a parent to you, or just someone you had a very deep connection with, maybe even since your childhood. Maybe you've known them such a long time and you are obsessing about it right now because the Eight of Pentacles in reverse is, but there's also some of you are ignoring your responsibilities and what you need to do, okay, because of this hurt. And I'm sorry if anyone has lost anyone they're very close to. It is extremely painful, I know. That is one scenario, and it feels very much like you need to, I mean, you need time to grieve. That's just what it's saying. In other words, the child's love or love, a bond that we've had with someone that is very strong, takes sometimes can take out, well, you never get over it, okay? It's always going to be in your heart. You learn to live with it. I think that's the best way to put it, okay? So let's see what other scenarios could be going on for pile two. Okay, this is work-related scenario, what I'm seeing at this time. For some of you, you've been waiting to hear back about a lucrative contract, maybe some type of, um, you've been in negotiations, okay? Now, it's definitely at work, as you can see. She's sitting in a work chair. If I was to turn this around, see, she's working pretty hard there. I'm looking at this. I'm looking at all the things. Yeah. So she's spending a lot of time working. But the problem is this, it doesn't appear to be coming. It's falling. You see what I mean? It's falling through. But you're pretty obsessed about it. You can't stop thinking about it. And I understand it's difficult when we want something so badly. So let's see where the overall outcome is going to happen for our first group who are, it's very specific, going through the loss of a loved one at this time, and it is very painful. They just can't focus. They can't focus on anything else but that. And that is totally understandable, right? So where is this going now? The Three of Pentacles in the upright. In fact, that works for both because of the fact it's Pentacles. But also it's covering a large area. So what you need to do, it's very clearly telling me for those of you who are struggling with loss, any kind of loss, but it's a deep loss. It's something that you were very connected. And it doesn't always have to be death. A loss is a loss. It can be the loss of a job, the loss of any relationship, but what it's referring to is something that was very close to you, close to your heart. Okay. For the most part, it can be a parent, and that's what talks about in the child's love. But for the rest of you, it can refer to any loss. It can be the loss of a home, the loss of a job, the loss of, and there's tons, as we know, loss comes in many forms. So, in fact, for most of you, I'd say you're just not able to even, I feel like you can't even function like you aren't. You're not able to work. You're not able to think. You're obsessed. It's like you're in this vacuum of pain. You can't let it go. And the Three of Pentacles is showing that you will start moving out of this. And I mean, that would be, unless you plan to hold on. And for some people, they do. But how to? I feel like there's going to be either one or two other people, maybe even three, because it is the three after all, that will help you with this. Okay. There's a team, and maybe it can even be a grief counseling group that you go to, or three very close friends who are going to help you in some way. Maybe they'll come over and they'll listen to you and they will, you cry on their shoulder, whatever it is, or three family members. It could be two family members. It doesn't matter. Somebody is going to help you rebuild so that you can come back out of this vacuum, come back out of this pain and into the world again. Okay. For those of you that are waiting for the contract or some type of an agreement from a higher up, okay, a boss or someone in a higher position in corporate, whatever that happens to be, there is a team working on it right now. It could be the HR team, it could be a legal team. Somebody is working on it to help get that contract going. But I feel right now it's headed in that direction. It's going to be coming, but it's just not right away. I feel like it's slowing down. There's a slowness to this situation here for my friends in pile two. So let us go forward, but it's being worked on. So don't despair. And for those, as I said, who are really struggling with loss, It really shows that you're going to be moving forward. It shows working on it. It shows you trying to get out of that. And that's so important, right? Just focus on the fact that you have this person in your life or this situation in your life was beneficial for you for a certain period of time. And I know that's hard to do because all we want is to get back what we lost, right? As we know, loss is for a reason in this lifetime. So, whatever it is that you've lost, you're going to be rebuilding. You're going to be coming back out of it. It's going to be improving for you going forward. It just might take well, it's going to take some time. The Pentacles refer to a slower progress, but it is showing progress, okay? And anyone else who is wanting like I say, it appears to be more for those of you who are going through a situation, it appears to be more financial in nature. Um, Maybe you've lost all your money recently, or not lost all of it, but you've lost a significant amount. The Eight of Pentacles, you're rebuilding. That's where it's going. It's going in that direction. And the Hierophant is about doing things in a traditional, tried and true, conservative way. So I feel like maybe you thought you did, whatever happened, your money, whether it's investments, whatever, in whatever way that you did it, it's gone. For some of you, this is about education. I know I'm getting a lot of information here. It's all coming in on these three cards. This can be, maybe some of you have spent a lot of money recently on your education at university. This is showing university with the Hierophant. That's how they pronounce it. And it's like you feel like the poor student right now. But of course, you will be rebuilding. This is rebuilding for your future. It's going forward. In other words, and we know it's an investment in you, and you will be able to use what you're learning and what you've financially lost to rebuild your finances eventually. It's just going to take some time. Let's do another scenario, my friends, for pile two. What can you show us, pile two? What's going on right now for two? Okay. The Six of Pentacles in the reverse. And then we have the Hermit. Oh, wow. Hermit. Upright. So I feel like recently, something's really come to light for you. Looks like you've been giving money away. I was going to say. It can be most likely financial. It seems to be mostly financial here today. But so far, it could also just be your time. Maybe you're noticing lately that it's you that's been putting in a lot more effort than everyone else with your life situations, day to day, maybe whatever it is. It's like there's not a balance here. The balance is off. You have been doing more of the giving. And I feel like you're trying to get back what you feel you've been giving. Now, if this is regarding, maybe for some of you, you've spent a lot of time doing volunteer work and it's starting to weigh heavy on you because you've been overdoing the work. And it's really starting to come to light here. Now, let me see where this could potentially be going for you. All I know is you are you're really at this time you're really paying attention to it. It's like you kind of got to the end of your rope on a situation here. Okay, so let's see what it is going to be going forward in this scenario. For those of you, okay, pile two, we have the Queen of Cups in reverse, and what it shows me is unless you take action, and it's very likely it's around a mother figure. I feel like for most of you or a mother-like figure because the Queen of Cups in the reverse, I don't feel like you feel like you're being appreciated, and it doesn't show that. In fact, I'd say you feel like you're being taken advantage of, and maybe you're somebody that is very generous and very giving, but sometimes we do it at the expense of our own energy, our own. We can't say no. Okay. That's what's showing here in this scenario. You've been giving of yourself too much, whether it's your time, your energy, or your money, or your day-to-day activities, and it's starting to show, it's starting to come to light. Now, where it's going is if you keep this up, you are going to be not a very nice person going forward. You're going to become resentful. Your emotions are going to be it has to come out in some way, in other words. So whether it is the first scenario where you're not feeling appreciated by a mother figure or someone you're taking care of, maybe it's a senior and you are looking after them in some way, it's starting to get to be too much for you. Perhaps you need some help, but it shows going forward that it's going to come out. So you need to do something about it at this point because it's a negative. Let's see what you need to do. It shows you as being over emotional in the end. You don't want to end up snapping at your loved ones or upset and tears or whatever the case is. You have to deal with this feeling of resentment. I feel like it's like I've been giving, 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 and when am I going to get? That's what I'm hearing. Okay, so let's see what can you do to offset this because that's what it's showing is most likely going to happen. But you can change things, right? We can always do. I know sometimes it's hard, but what can you do to make it better? Four of Pentacles. There we go. Don't be afraid to let go. That's what it's telling me. Let it all go. If it's finances that you have been giving, you did it. You gave it up. Let it go. It's gone. You did it for the right reason, hopefully. Or your time or your energy, you need to move on. Let it go. It was done from a place of love, at least I hope, because it's talking about a child's love here. So if it's a parent that you've been helping in whatever way, or a family member, or someone you have a deep connection with that you love very dearly, you need to let it go. It's not going to serve you any purpose. Perhaps you can just let it be and try to deal with the fact that what was the reason you did it in the first place? Okay. Did you do it out of a place of love or did you do it out of a feeling of obligation? You need to look at that. So it's telling me, the cards are telling me just release it. It's gone. Don't worry about it. Lessons learned, right? We have to move on sometimes. But if it's a parent, there is that deep connection and if you made that choice from here, ask yourself, did I do this? Have I done this out of love? Or did I do it from obligation, as I mentioned? Don't allow yourself, if you did it, like I say, if you did it from obligation, then you're going to feel put upon. You're going to feel that resentment because perhaps you had no boundaries and you let this person just walk all over you. Maybe you need to set up your boundaries. Look at that, okay? Don't do it from a place of obligation, you do it from a place of love. Sometimes, and I know it's hard to differentiate that. We sometimes think, well, they looked after me, so therefore I have to look after them, or I need to help them. They are very good to me, or they have been. Whether it's a friend, a family member, it doesn't matter. So you need to then say to yourself, I did it for this reason. It's done, and I did as much as I can. Let it go. All right. Okay, pile two. I hope that resonated for you. And some of you were able to see clearly moving forward. Now, hi, pile three. We're going to be looking at what the situation, the energy and the feelings and maybe advice and different things around what's going on in your life overall right now. We have the listen card. You have to be willing to listen if you want to really understand someone. Now is not the time to be offering advice, but to be a compassionate listener. To listen fully and intently means to pay attention, not to digest what's being said, to what lies beneath the words. Why is it being said? What does it mean, right? Okay. Let's go, my tarot friends, and see what the hell this means for you. What is it that's going on in your life? We'll start with this deck. Let us see. What is this around? Sometimes we're so busy talking and we have conversations with people that we are not actually listening to what they're telling us, right? We're too busy trying to get our point across. Okay. Let's see, pile three. What can you tell us about the situations at this time around us? Okay, let's see here. We have the sun. Very beautiful. All right. Five of Pentacles in the reverse. So what I'm feeling is this is the sun. Sorry, see reverse. The sun card here is one of the most beautiful cards in the tarot deck, and you can tell just through the picture, right? Showing this incredibly beautiful picture, and it's so bright. But what I'm feeling is that this time you're coming out of a situation that you feel you have had no control over. Okay. There's this sense of people have been, well, number one, look at the picture. The despair and the this hiding in this terrible picture. Okay. So you are now emerging as the sun. Look at her. It's being shone upon out from and in a positive way out of a very dark situation in your life. Okay. It looks like things are improving for you. I would say for the most part, for some people, this could represent coming out of a depression or a time of grieving or a time of anxiety or a time of any of those negative emotions. You're actually emerging and you're improving and things are improving. But it's been about, I'm going to just pull another card just to make sure, the Five of Pentacles, as to what it's telling me. The world. Yeah. You know what? Overall, your world has been upside down, literally. That's what it's telling me. You can't even, like, it's like night and day. Okay. There's a situation around you where things have been completely improved, which is awesome. You don't need a reading. But you want to make sure. I mean, the listen card is like, I feel like perhaps you've listened to what people have told you, and that's how you're getting out of this. People are now listening to you, is what I'm hearing. It's what I'm hearing. It's like you've been in a place where you felt like nobody would listen to what you had to say. That's what I'm hearing. It's like the light is now being shone on you. In other words, people are listening. It's like you've been telling them all along that things are bad. This is what I'm hearing. And nobody listened to you. I feel like they were just going about their daily life and, oh, yeah, yeah, no, it's okay. He or she, they're doing fine. But no, you were in a bad place. And maybe some of you are still a little bit in there, but it's showing that it is reversing. It's coming out of. Now, you are now back and engaged with the world. Before, felt like you were separate and maybe you spent a lot of time on your own. You couldn't handle other people, maybe listening to them, hearing what they had to say. And then you were probably upset. Nobody was really paying attention to you. Now, the light is focused on you. This is your time and you're shining. It looks like you're shining. We're going to see where this outcome is going to take you, though. What is going to happen going forward? The Four of Pentacles in the reverse. Okay. Okay. I think what had happened too is in the past, or at this time with this situation in your life, you have been trying so hard to keep yourself safe, protected, whether it was protected from getting hurt, protected in a financial way. Some of this is referring to money because it's pentacles, or maybe just your time and energy. You've been sort of coming from a place of emerging. You've been in this sort of, I don't want to say cocoon, but it's almost like you've been sort of enveloped in this place of being alone and on your own and trying to take some time off for with yourself. And now you're coming out of this. It's like you've let go of those fears. You've let go of people that serve you no purpose at this time. You're listening. They're listening to what you have to say. I know I've said that before. I'm going to pull another card. So it looks like what I'm trying to say is it looks like you're going to let go of the scenario here for some of you. What I'm also seeing, and there's a negative connotation as well. For some of you, I feel like you finally realize if you've been financially in a bad place recently or right now, you're struggling and things are starting to improve and it looks like it's coming around. Maybe you've been listening to somebody's advice and now it's happening that I'm afraid it's going to head in the other direction. In other words, it's not that you're not going to have the money, but you might become so scared of losing what you have that you hold on to tightly. Don't be one of those people, but be prudent. Don't allow yourself to be so afraid that you become miserly or you become stingy and you don't want to help anyone and you don't, whether it's with your time or your money or your energy, don't allow yourself to close off again. Okay. And I know it looks like you've gone through a very difficult period or you're going through right now. Things are starting to come out. You're starting to see some sunlight. You're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. That's what I'm hearing. So, my dear, we're going to see what advice they will give you on that situation. Let's see what advice you're going to get about it. Yeah, your whole world's been upside down, literally. And you just haven't been able to be successful at what you wanted to do. It's like it's showing me whether it is making money, earning money, or a job. And now you're so afraid going forward that you remain closed off. You're holding it too tightly. Don't allow that to happen. And that doesn't mean spend your money frivolously. That just means there's a middle ground, right? Be moderate. So let's see what advice. Ace of Pentacles. Oh wow. Okay. See the picture. In other words, give of yourself. Don't allow yourself to close off and be afraid of losing whatever you have. Be, and it doesn't mean give a lot, but it still is give back, help, do what you can. Don't allow, as I said, don't close yourself off, whatever scenario this applies to. Okay. The sun, sometimes when it's next to a card that could be potentially a negative, but it's not. The Five of Pentacles in reverse, I don't see it as a negative. I see it, it's still not a great card, but it's getting better. Okay. Um, but don't allow yourself, sometimes this can tell us, don't allow yourself to get burned. I feel like maybe, yeah, you were probably burned at this time in some way. In other words, when I say burned, I mean you've been hurt. Okay. You've been hurt. And that Five of Pentacles in reverse is like you're starting now, it's starting to come back in a better way, in a more positive way. But your fear is going to kick in most likely if you allow it. Okay. Let's see. So give, help, reach out, do it in a small way. It doesn't have to be a big way. Allow yourself to do that. Okay. So pile three. Let's see what other scenarios. and listen to what people are saying. Listen to what everybody's telling you. Don't just hear. Listen. Okay, let's see. What other scenarios, though, my dear friends? Pile three are going on right now. Okay, Queen of Cups in the reverse and the Hermit. Right. Okay, pull one more card on the Queen of Cups. Just to get some clarity. Okay. All right. Clarity's the Ten of Cups in the reverse. I feel like you're not happy in your life at home. Maybe it's with your relationships, maybe it's with your family members, but there is this scenario that's going on in your life where you're just not satisfied. The Ten of Cups can also be emotional fulfillment. You're not feeling it, you're not feeling emotionally fulfilled. And at this time, you're trying to figure out how I can get past this. How can I move forward? It's the light. In other words, I think you've become so bitchy and miserable with people. It's starting to come to light. You can see the light here? Yeah. And it's definitely is shining on her. Can you see that? Definitely. Oh boy. That's not good. And this could also, for some of you, be someone in your life, a woman, most likely, in your inner circle. And this person is really pissing you off, whether it is a family member, a friend, a lover, whoever this person is, most likely a female, or it can be female energy, somebody who has a little more female energy. But they're not being very nice right now. They're argumentative, they're difficult, they're stubborn, whatever you want to call it. They're not being helpful. And emotionally, they're moody, all those things that are irritating. Okay. And it is coming forward. So let's see where that could be potentially going. That can, like I say, that could be referring to you, that could be referring to somebody in your life. Let's see where that scenario is headed. I hope it's better. Goodness gracious. Oh, magician. All right. Okay. Okay. This is definitely referring to you if, so for those of you who are women that are listening to this, you and only you can make it happen. In other words, only you can get out of this mood and this situation. Let's pull out the advice and see how. What can you do? Now, what can you do to get out of this? What advice do you have for this Queen of Cups? Nine of Cups, but in the reverse. Okay. What I see with that card is it's like in order to get to the magician to make it happen, you have to let go of your expectations about what it is you want in life. I think your expectations are too high. The Ten of Cups in reverse often speaks about that perfect scenario. Well, when it's upright, it speaks about that perfect scenario in life where we want the, you know, 2.5 kids, the car, the beautiful house, the perfect partner, the perfect life, in other words, which doesn't exist, as we know. There's only periods of time. So when it's in the reverse, I feel like that's what's making you difficult or unhappy right now, unfulfilled. You feel your expectations are too high. You need to listen to what is going on in your world. Like, I'm sure people are telling you, like, what is wrong with you? Why are you acting so miserably? Why are you being so difficult? All the different things. So listen to what they're telling you. Don't ignore it. I'm seeing that you have potential to fix this. Okay. And how you fix it is let go of the things that you really think you want. They're not, let go of the emotions. They're not important. In other words, if your life is going in a downward trajectory or downward spiral down the rabbit hole, you need to take a look at what it is you want out of life. In other words, kind of dumb it down a bit. Maybe it's not, like I say, maybe your list is too much. I mean, you can't have everything. You need to be satisfied with what you do have. Okay. I feel like this energy around this is somebody who just wants it all and they're not getting it perhaps right now and they're pissed off. And when I say getting it all, I mean emotionally, they're not being fulfilled. They do have everything. They may have the car and the house and the family and the beautiful life, and everybody looks at you and goes, wow, look at you. But it's not doing it. It's not satisfying you. It's like living in a gilded cage, right? On the outside, it looks wonderful, but on the inside, you're not fulfilled. You need to find something that will fulfill you. But I feel like there's too many things you want, or you're not sure what you want in this case. It's like this, it's headed in that direction if you don't turn it around. No, sorry, that's the advice. Sorry, I apologize. This is where it's headed. It's headed that you can make it better. The Magician in the Upright is a good card. You have everything at your disposal to make it improved, improve your scenario, improve your emotional well-being. So do it. So what you have to do in order to do it, because this is the advice card, is let go of some of those things that you think are going to make you happy emotionally. It's not being realistic, in other words. Your expectations are way over the top, okay? So, my dear friends, I hope file 3, if some of this resonated for you, I'm very happy. Listen, listen. This is the advice and the energy around pile 3. Listen to others, and they are going to start listening to you, what you have to say as well, okay? All right, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Take care, and bye for now.